Welcome, viewers. In today's session, we will be continuing from the previous session of understanding the concept of debit note and credit note. So, in the last session, we understood the credit note. We also understood the instances during which credit note is going to be passed for both the ledgers, right? For example, you as a company, generally, like we discussed, generally a credit note is passed on your customer, and the majority of the time a credit note or the credit note, the moment we speak of a credit note, you associate credit note with a sale return, right? And we also saw various other instances where a credit note is raised in your company for your customer ledger. And also we took a use case of how you can pass a credit note for your supplier ledger, uh, which is a rare instant, right? So we saw different use cases of how a credit note is passed on the supplier ledger also. But see, the most important thing that we understood in the last session is that a credit note passed on for credit note passed for a customer ledger is going to reduce the outstanding of the customer that you are supposed to receive, and credit note passed by your organization for a supplier ledger is going to increase the outstanding that you are going to pay. This is the core concept. Once we understand, it becomes much easier. So today we will quickly take a few use cases of debit note, and then we will see how the debit note is going to impact your customer and your supplier ledger. So in the last session, we took these use case scenarios for understanding credit note, right? So similarly, we will just quickly walk through the use case scenarios. We will take the instances, right? So uh, let me just quickly just draw this table, right? So yes, so we have your customer. Okay. So this is, we are understanding about the debit note. Okay. Now, generally, the default or primary association of the debit note is associated with our sundry creditors. Okay, and like we saw in the other credit note case, you can also raise a debit note on sundry debtors. So let's quickly take the first simple example for us to understand. Right, a debit note is raised. So first we will talk about the use case scenarios in case of your supplier where you are going to raise a debit note. Okay. So the first one is basically your purchase return, right? So you have made a purchase. Let us say you made a purchase of 10,000 rupees. Okay. And then when you check those goods, you realized that 1,000 rupees worth of goods are damaged, and you want to return it back, right? So so you so normally you basically wait for your supplier to raise a credit note and send it. Nevertheless, you can make a debit note and then you can send it to your supplier. So what you're going to do? So basically, again, quickly let us understand this with this example. So we have two ledgers involved here. Okay, so we understood this in the last session in the credit note. So one is, now this is going to be your purchase ledger, and this is going to be your sundry creditors ledger. So again, we have debit here, credit here, debit here, credit here. So when you made a purchase, right, so you would have debited your purchase ledger by 10,000 rupees, and you would have credited your supplier ledger by 10,000 rupees, because this is what is the outstanding that you're supposed to pay. So now you are returning 1,000 rupees worth of goods. So which means, the net amount that you're going to pay at a later point in time is going to be 9,000, right? So how do I reduce this? So we understood this in detail in the last session. So let's not keep repeating the same thing. So quickly, I'm going to now make a note on the debit side of my supplier so that my net outstanding is going to become 9,000 credit. So a note made on the debit side of the supplier ledger, okay, is what we call this as a debit note, right? So this is what we saw in the last session, a note made on the debit side of your supplier, right? And obviously you are going to credit your purchase so that your purchase value is also going to come down, and your outstanding to your sundry creditor is also going to come down, right? So you're going to pass a 1,000 rupees in the debit note, which is going to reduce your outstanding. Okay, so this is one aspect of it. Now the second aspect of it, we can actually we can take the same thing. In this case, what would we say? He said excess charge is going to reduce, right? So now let us take the same use case here in this case. And in this use case, let us assume that the rate for this particular thing should have been 100 rupees. Okay, but the supplier, when he's making the invoice, right, so he is charged me 110 rupees, right? So which means he's charged me 10 rupees excess, right? So instead of 10,000, the invoice would have been made for 11,000 rupees, right? So now I'm not going to pay him 11,000 rupees because the agreed price was 100 rupees. But whereas they have made a mistake in the invoice and they have charged excess, right? So now you want to reduce the outstanding amount. So see, you will pass a debit note, and obviously, I mean, like, you are going to so is assuming that this is 11,000 rupees credit in the original invoice, and this is the second use case we are talking about, right? So uh, 10 rupees into 100 numbers, let us assume. So 1,000 rupees is what you have to reduce. So you pass a debit note for 1,000 rupees, where in the narration you will say this debit note is raised on account of price difference, excess charge of rupees 10 rupees. So that basically gives you a recall at any later point in time. So you have now reduced 1,000 rupees, right? So this 11 will now become 10,000 rupees. Okay, so this the similar case that we can take is again the tax rate, right? So for example, let us say the tax, now instead of actually charging say 12%, right, the customer is charged, your supplier is charged 18%, right? So I hope now you people would have got the knack of understanding or the relevance or the importance of the debit note, right? So which means literally he's charged me 6% extra, right? So my outstanding is now greater than 6%, right? So now I find out once I get the bill, and then I communicate with the my supplier, and I tell them that I'm going to raise a debit note and you raise your credit note from your end. So when I raise a debit note, he is going to raise a credit note. So we saw in the last thing, credit note in your book on the customer account is going to reduce the outstanding. Debit note in your book on the supplier ledger is going to debit decrease your outstanding, the amount you are supposed to pay. So you pass a debit note to the extent of the value of 6% difference in the tax rate, and then accordingly you do the posting, right? So these are broadly, like I said, I mean, like, you would have understood this in complete detail in the last session. So this just for us to get an idea, and especially like I had mentioned, this session is basically for the beginners, right? So three use case scenarios, right? So broadly, purchase return is where you are going to make a debit note uh, in your organization, which impacts the supplier ledger. If there is excess charge, whatever may be the use case scenario, so a debit note in your supplier ledger is going to reduce their outstanding. So use case number one, purchase return, the value of your outstanding to be paid is going to reduce. Debit note passed, where the supplier has charged you excess amount, you have to now reduce to the extent of the difference in the excess value you are going to debit. Again, your outstanding is going to come down. So the other instance is you the tax rate. In case, I mean, like, if they have charged a higher rate of GST instead of the actual rate to be applicable, then again there is this excess amount that is being charged in your account. So for you to reduce it and rectify it to the actual tax rate, you're going to pass a debit note. Okay. Now quickly we will see debit note you are going to pass in case of a sundry debtors account, right? So sundry debtors account, if you have to remember that it is already a debit balance, because you have made sales to the customer and you are now going to uh, receive money from him. So it's already a debit balance, right? So now in your books of account, if you are going to pass a debit note for your customer, then the outstanding that you are supposed to receive is going to increase, right? So we can just take the reverse of this example, very simple, right? So let us assume that I am supposed to charge him 110 rupees per unit, but by mistake while invoicing I have only charged him 100 rupees, right? So now what am I going to do? I have to now increase the difference amount, right? So the 10 rupees difference has to be increased because I need to receive that additional amount which I have actually not charged in my invoice, right? So now I'm going to pass a debit note, and to the extent of the difference of 10 rupees into the quantity that I have supplied, I'm going to pass a debit note, and it is going to impact my customer ledger. A debit note is passed on to impact the debit side of my customer. Remember this. So it is going to increase the outstanding. The next use case, we can take the same tax, but only thing is, you just reverse it, right? You are supposed to charge 18% GST on those items that you have supplied, but whereas by mistake in your office they have charged 12%. So now when you were reviewing these transactions, you realize that we have in your people have charged less rate of tax. You communicate with your customer, and then for the difference amount you are again going to raise a debit note. So in this case, the difference of 6%, you have actually charged him less, right? So you need that difference of 6% to be collected and paid to the department. So now you raise a debit note for the value of 6% on the transaction value or assessable value or taxable value. And now you're going to make an entry on the debit side of your customer, so that to the extent of that 6% difference in tax, the outstanding is going to increase, so that you are going to get the amount with the original invoice plus the debit note amount. That is the total amount that you are supposed to receive from your customer, right? Now from a GST point of view, if you see the legal document in case of a registered dealer for claiming input tax credit, and also as a legal document for charge of GST, okay, three documents are very important. Okay, so one is your tax invoice, so which is your sale invoice, right? And all this debit note and credit note examples that we saw in the previous session and also in this session, so these are also considered as I mean, like a document which is acceptable by department, which means these are uh, legal document for the taxable person to claim or associate with the GST tax. Okay, so these things, debit note and credit note. And whenever a debit note or credit note is raised, these information, if there is a tax implication. Now remember, right, though I did not mention about it, so when there is a purchase return, right, so the value of purchase return plus the associated rate of tax, the amount of tax involved in the value of return also is considered, right? So in every case, so now the second use case we said, so please associate this with your credit note also, what we discussed in the last session. So the difference of 10 rupees that we spoke, right, the difference of 10 rupees also will have an impact of the respective tax of GST. So in all this three, so this is basically the tax amount is what we are increasing or decreasing. But in the other two cases, where in case of your purchase return and then where there is a debit note or a credit note raised, in case of a price difference, okay, so the GST component is going to be definitely involved in that, and these information needs to be submitted as part of your return, right? So when we come to GST module, we will discuss about this, right? I hope this would have got more clarity, like I'd mentioned, especially for beginners or people who are just getting into the accounting environment. The doubt or the the confusion about when a debit note, credit note is raised, and why this word debit note and credit note uh, is associated, or how you can associate this debit note, credit note, for you to remember on whose account or on which ledger primarily these notes are denoting, right? So thank you all once again for staying till the end. So if you're not subscribed, kindly subscribe, share this links to your friends so that they can also get benefited. Okay? Thank you. See you all until the next session. Thank you very much.